Hey guys, just in time here. So today I'm going to be breaking down exactly what the fiscal cliff is. This is something you guys are hearing in the news all the time. Everybody's talking about it. So just in case you're curious and you haven't had time to really look at exactly what this is and how we got here, I'm going to try and break it down in its simplest form. So for those of you who have memories that go back more than 18 months, you probably remember we were just here about 2 years ago at a similar fiscal cliff. But of course now this one's even worse. And it's a man-made cliff, but I'll break it down a little bit and explain it to you. So this is basically the nickname that's given to the Budget Controll Act of 2011 that was passed in Congress and signed by the President. And this was basically just a big, huge pushing down the road of all the issues that have been happening. And this hasn't just happened once. This has been happening again and again. That Congress basically for the last 2 to 4 years has gotten absolutely nothing done. And so they've had to keep pushing the budgets down the road and keep pushing these decisions down the road. And basically this is what we've come to now. What happens when you keep putting things off and putting things off? They pile up, inevitably. And so right now that's what's happened. A bunch of stuff is piled up, and now we're facing a whole bunch of this stuff all coming at one time. So now we have a combination of a bunch of tax increases about to go into effect. At the same time we have sequestration, which is going to mean a 1% decrease in government spending in the next year. So they include such things as, like I said, budget sequestration, which is a 1% cut across the board in all discretionary spending, both defense and non-defense spending. So it's just going to be a huge impact right there. Of course, I think that comes out to about 110 billion a year. So we're going to have that. At the same time, we're going to see a reversal of the alternative minimum tax. We're going to see the expiration of the Bush tax cuts. That's been a big one. The expiration of the payroll tax cuts. The expiration of the emergency unemployment benefit extension. Plus across-the-board spending cuts like I've already mentioned. So that's what we're facing, and that's what everybody's talking about when they mention this fiscal cliff, is that when the deadline hits for this, all of these things go into effect in theory. Now I'm going to talk a little bit more about why we have to go over the fiscal cliff and why I think, not that we necessarily will, but why I think we need to go over the fiscal cliff. And so if you see a link right up here, that means I've got that video done. Check it out. And then I'll talk a little bit more about specifically what it entails and why it's not really so much of a cliff but more of a slope. This has all been due to inaction and to gridlock in Washington, and could have been avoided many times over the last few years. And so now we're here and we're at the point where it's all coming to a head. Alright guys, so that's basically what the fiscal cliff is. If you guys want to see a little bit more about why we need to go over the fiscal cliff, check that link. Otherwise I'll catch you guys on the next video.